Everybody show your love for the man himself, the legend. He's got amazing hair, and that's just one of the reasons you should listen to him. Andrew Towers. Andrew, welcome. What's going on, man?
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks. If you hear my children in the background, get ready for school. So
I
could
was
be
gonna
a bit of
say
a
you sound
distraction,
like you're
but yeah.
under a waterfall.
Do
So I
I?
guess
Yeah,
that's them
probably.
brushing their teeth. Your mic is amazingly powerful. That's
Should I turn
wow.
down the
Okay.
gain?
I don't care.
I'll just sit back.
Well, let's just say it depends on how much you trust your children to not say anything.
Well, I
There's an
trust them.
entire show founded upon the idea that kids say the darndest things. So as long as you're comfortable with the fact that they may say something crazy any minute, hey, I'm comfortable too. Because for me, it all equals ratings, buddy. I don't care. All right.
Yeah. I mean, if
So
you're
what?
good with it, it's fine by me. It's not much I
Yeah,
can do to control, and they're getting ready for school. So
it's like barking dogs. When I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. Like
yeah,
for me, the fact that it's a home gym. I mean, I know we want to be professional and everything else, but I also look at the idea of a home gym as you have to kind of embrace what I consider to be the beautiful chaos of it, because
absolutely.
you're able to. I mean, I can see if like you were talking about like car insurance, somebody just had an accident. I don't want to. I want to feel like you've got your full attention on me and my problems, not your kids in the background. But for something like this, it doesn't bother me. Um,
Yeah, I've
but
actually found that people seem to like if we're talking about guests coming and using the gym, it hasn't been a problem. My children have accidentally walked into the gym when there was guests there, and it was um, in not a problem. That I mean, if it's part of the experience.
So that actually, I've got the banner going across the bottom here. Everybody need to go out, check out gorxfitness.com, as I said, and also follow GORX Fitness on Instagram. That's where they put a lot of information there. And because we are on LinkedIn right now as we speak, go ahead and check out, connect with Andrew Towers here on LinkedIn, and also it's GORX Fitness on LinkedIn as well.
We are, yep.
Okay, so check out GORX Fitness on LinkedIn as well. So there you go. Um, but I want to say too that for me, it seems like what you just said about like your kids walking into the gym when people are there kind of fits in with some of the questions I sent you when I said,
Yeah,
like how do you manage that work-life balance? So let's go ahead and jump right into it, man.
please.
So, first of all, for anyone who's not familiar with GORX Fitness and what you guys do, give me your elevator speech and just kind of familiarize them with who you are and what you do.
Yeah, for sure. So at GoRx, we help people start micro gyms with their home gyms. So everything from navigating local compliance and HOA bylaws to selecting and navigating insurance. We do help people when it comes to their marketing strategy and their plan. And we, in addition to these services or business coaching, we provide a platform. So we've got a platform that is a gym management software that has a like rental marketplace aspect to it. So for the gym seeker, they will experience the app much like they would experience a home Airbnb. So they find they can search for their gym or by preference, and that might be location, it might be by gym type if it's like powerlifting, CrossFit style home gym, or it could be equipment they're looking for specifically. We think this is a really awesome feature that we're excited to roll out. One of the things that has been a value add for our vendor partners that gym seekers can search for equipment that is specifically that they're specifically looking for. I'll also say, like as a gym management software from the micro gym side of the house, GoRx is building out a suite of tools that they can manage their schedules, they can manage, payments, waivers, etc. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. We help people start micro gym businesses, and we provide the software to do it.
Okay. So I first of all, you just gotta a new follower. So Carlos said he just followed you on the gram. So there you
Oh, let's
go.
go.
All right. So I fulfilled my promise to expand your reach by coming on here. One follower at a time. Let's go. And then Keith said he needs to get on another Zoom with you. So there you go. All right. So I'm getting you. I got you a follower. I got you a podcast guest. All right. This is going well. Let's see. And let's see. And Eric said he just got word from the city they have no regulations, and that he needs to get a hold. I pop it up there, and that he needs to get a hold of the county.
All right, good update.
All
I'll let
right,
the
so
team know.
all right, so that is a so is you guys are helping? I'm assuming you guys are helping Eric get himself up and running with the micro gym in his home gym. I'm assuming.
Well, Eric is exploring. I don't want to speak for you, Eric. Obviously, in the comments, please feel free to
Nobody
correct
can
me.
hear him,
But
so
Eric is exploring it, and so he's
okay.
doing his research. This is the first step in the process that we talk about. Do your homework, and a part of that is to reach out to those local offices that that govern your town and your village, the zoning and that sort of thing. So this is the homework and research phase of starting a micro gym. And Keith is also in that phase as well.
Okay. So I know, as I told you, I know several micro gym owners, but most of them are running their businesses right now, so they're not able to be here in the live chat. And so what
It's a
they
good problem
did,
to have.
I reached out to them and asked them to give me some questions, some statements, and then basically they're gonna watch the replay of this as to hear your responses and hear how we discuss it. All right, so Mikkel Brunsfeld, I've known Mikkel for quite some time. She's one of the people who signed this animal banner that you guys see sometimes on my left. So we've known her for a long time. She's got a home gym. She and her husband have a home gym, but her micro gym business is a small Pilates studio. And she says before starting her business, she says she wished she had known more about marketing and generating leads. She wishes she had known a really good contractor. And she wishes she had known that freebies just don't work to a small business's benefit. So let's unpack those separately. How often are you hearing things like, I wish I knew more about marketing and generating leads from new micro gym owners, especially when their business is in a home gym or they're moving from a home gym into a commercial space?
Yeah, so fairly common. It comes up a lot, but it's not the most frequently asked question. When it comes to marketing, obviously you need sales, and to get sales, you need leads. And so marketing is that aspect of the business that raises your brand awareness. But I think one of the things that we find is most challenging for home gym owners that want to start a micro gym is understanding who their target audience is, who their ideal client is. And so we help people work through that. When you know who your ideal client is, then you know what their pain points are. And those, you start speaking to those pain points, and you got to meet them where they are. Right. So if, we find the most success on apps like Nextdoor and Facebook, and connect with those communities and those Facebook groups. So there's those Nextdoor communities. So one thing that I want to mention as I was thinking through my answers to your questions that you sent prior is, you're gonna hear a lot of things about like social media and marketing and social media. That's a challenge because Instagram just sort of indiscriminately blasts your content out. You really want to go to those niche communities and on the platforms that they are.
So let's keep on going with that a little bit, because I mentioned, so Tim from Gym Crafters on here, and he was on with me last week, and he's in the live chat right now, and his ideal clientele is about 15, 20 years older than he is. So I think that recommendation about Nextdoor is a solid one, because you kind of need to know, if it's a home gym business, you kind of need to know like who's around you because for them, like one of the advantages of a home gym is that it's convenient and accessible. So you want to make it as convenient and accessible to them as well, because otherwise they could just go to Planet Fitness. If they got to drive a long distance anyway, they might as well just go to Life Fitness or whatever, right? Or Lifetime Fitness rather. So for someone like Tim, though, I don't know how much older adults are posting on Nextdoor. Hey, I need a trainer or whatever. Like, so what are some other ways to for somebody like that to say, and I know older adults are definitely not posting on Instagram looking for trainers. You know what I mean? So in his specific situation, if he's trying to find clients that he can use attract to his business for online coaching, what would you recommend to him for that older demographic?
Yeah, I mean that's a good question. Also a tough one to answer. There's a lot of variables that go into the nuance when it comes to marketing, specifically to his target. I don't know him well, other than seeing your episode last week, or his ideal client. I'm not even sure how old he is. So there's a lot of unknown variables, and we don't care specifically to online coaching. So with all that, with that prefaced, I would say start with your neighbors, right? If you're a home gym owner wanting to run a micro gym and you're looking to serve a community that's advanced in their age, start with your neighbors and talk to your neighbors. If you can, if you can create buy-in with your neighbors, and those neighbors that are advanced in their age, they'll talk to their friends. They'll talk to the people that they commune with. It depends on how old we're talking. I mean, there's still.
So I can answer that. All right. So
Please,
Tim is
yeah.
53. Tim is 53, and his audience, the people that he makes his stuff on gymcrafter.com are for people who are in their 60s and 70s, and the doctors told him, hey, you need to exercise. And so he's giving them information so that they can get started. But he's also kind of like wargaming some stuff I don't know if he's going to try to create an app, or if he's going to do like some limited, what do you call it, semi-private coaching sessions at his house. He already has people coming over to train with him, but you know what I mean? So the basic idea is that he's not going for somebody who's like in their 30s or 40s to train them. It's more like, hey, I'm trying to help the older adult population that's been told by the doctor, hey, you need to get in shape. You need to start training. How do I connect with that group of people? You know what I mean? So I don't know if that helps out at all.
Maybe is this who his ideal client is? He's specifically wants to serve this community of people.
Yeah, that's and the other thing is there's a little bit of synchronicity, because that's who's already going to his website. And he says, and that's him right there, he says the people he trains will not go to a commercial gym. So he says, and he said referrals are his number one traffic source. So it sounds
good.
like
Yeah, he's in the chat.
saying,
That's great. Yeah, drive that home. Are you having, since we're chatting with him live?
Yeah, I'm like, this
are
is
you,
why
are
I
you
wanted to bring
having
you
trouble
on, so
with?
I want you to be able to talk to these people. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to hear, are you having trouble reaching clientele? It also sounds like there's a whole lot of other decisions that you're looking to make, or you're weighing right now.
Okay. And it also sounds to me too that you're trying to, like, this is one of those things that probably he'll need to like reach out to you directly for,
Yeah,
because it
for
also
sure.
seems like there's some exploration going on. Like, is GORX something that could help me?
It could
in this
be,
situation?
yeah, and maybe not. That's totally cool. I mean, we love what we do. The team is excited about what we're trying to build and the people we're trying to help. So yeah, jump on a call. You don't even have to be necessarily like thinking about starting a micro gym or working with GoRX. We think that our vision, our overall mission vision is to see a micro gym in every neighborhood worldwide, and it doesn't have to be a GoRX Fitness affiliated micro gym, necessarily. So yeah, please reach out, man. Let's talk.
Nice. So what I love about that is, too often businesses try to pretend that they are your solution, even if they're not. And I love the fact that you're like, look, I can help some people, but I may not be a good fit for you.
Right.
And to me, you're also a resource in the sense that you can just based upon me knowing you, you can also tell people, hey, look, I can't help you, but here's an idea for how you can get what you need done, even if you're not directly going to profit from it in some way. You're not going to be a part of it. So I really love that. Um, moving next question, and this is back to Mikkel's statement about her micro gym business. So I remember taking a business development class for veterans who want to be entrepreneurs. It was called Boots to Business, and it was a partnership with the Georgia Small Business Administration and Kennesaw State University down here. And Mikkel says, that freebies don't help a small business. And it's crazy because people think that it does. They think, hey, if I give stuff away, then people will realize how good it is, and then they're gonna want to come pay for it. It's like the free introductory offer or the free introductory class. I'll give you a free sample, and then you're gonna want to buy my shirts or whatever. But the reality is, what I found is, if you train people for free, then let's say you give away like a free program, right? They're just going to keep using that free program. They'll never say, okay, well, now I'm going to upgrade and pay you. I mean, some people might, but a lot of times the freebie doesn't convert. So, one, what is your experience with that? And how do you communicate that to people who are micro gym owners, like brand new, and who are, again, trying to generate business because they're starting up?
Yeah. It's when it comes to freebies, it's my first question is always like, what are you giving away for free? Is it your time? Is it information? Is it product? And you need to weigh the costs of that. I would say, time is money. And so if you're most concerned about your time and trading your time, then find other opportunities that you can provide value. Ultimately, the goal is to provide value to your ideal client because you're solving specific problems for them. So I've had success doing free training. There's always an end to it. It's a single free session. It's not always. And it's usually when it comes to referrals. It's someone that's exploring this idea, is not necessarily sure how they feel about working out at ultimately a home gym, despite how professional I treat it. But and so sometimes it's a good tool to get them in the door. And I would encourage people to think of it as a tool. It's a tool in your kit box. So the preface had a lot of assumptions, that if you give something away for free, they're going to expect something free. I don't find that to be true necessarily. I think people genuinely and generally understand that it's a tactic and it's a sales tactic. It's a tool for you to entice them. And so I think the balance is ultimately like, building trust with them, position yourself as the person to solve their problem. And if that takes, come in, I'll train you for free, sign this waiver. We'll do a free session. If you like it, come back. And this is my price.
All right, so we got a couple. So we have a response from Tim that actually goes along with something else that I was going to ask you about.
Let's do it.
So he says his concern right now is insurance and waivers and taking it beyond friends and family. I know that's something that you guys have a lot of stuff in place on your website. So talk about basically insurance for a business at your home and some of the other resources you guys have.
Yeah. So I'll start by saying this: your home insurance provider is not going to cover, business or commercial related activities. So the first thing is always to touch base with them, because maybe they've got an umbrella policy that you can pull in and save on costs. So I'd say you'd want to look into commercial insurance policies, and you're going to want to specifically look into the exclusion clause when you get that policy, or when you take a look at the policy as you're shopping. Where people get themselves in hot water is in those exclusion clauses. And what an exclusion clause is, it's the insurance company telling you what they're not going to cover. And that could be if you got a dog and your dog is around the gym, they won't cover if there's a dog in the gym. They might not cover if you're training athletes that are 18 and younger. They may not cover your gym and you if you have DIY equipment and you're training your clients or your clients are training on DIY equipment. Uh, Ultimately, the idea is you want to mitigate risk because you're never going to get rid of risk completely. There's always going to be a level of risk, and I would say it's low for sure. And there's ways for you to mitigate it, including waivers and ensuring that the language in the waivers is comprehensive. But also even little things like checking your equipment and recording it. It doesn't have to be every week, doesn't have to be every month. But so if you do find yourself in an unlikely situation that you're being challenged by a guest who got hurt in litigation, you're showing them that one, they've been properly trained on how to use the equipment, that they've signed waivers, that you have rules posted in your gym, like gym rules posted. All these little things bolster your case, and so you can reduce your risk and liability dramatically by doing those little things, those little extra things. And I also say another thing that you can do to mitigate risk, because that's ultimately what we're talking about, is establishing an LLC. Create a separation between your business and yourself, your business assets, that home gym equipment, and your personal assets. So not mixing personal effects with your gym equipment and your home gym, separating those things in two different places, like not storing heavy equipment or other things in the gym at the same time. These are all small steps that you can take. And as a team, if you take pictures and fire them over to us, we'll take a look. We'll go through those pictures and we'll spot out things that could be like, hey man, that you probably want to address that. But there are also other little things that you can do, like adding a cheap first aid kit, getting a fire extinguisher. These are all things I have in my gym, and that it's not like you think you're ever going to need it, but it's just demonstrating that you're thinking through all the inevitability, not on inevitabilities, but all the various ways that things could potentially go wrong, and that you've addressed it through your planning. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I mean, there's a couple. So first of all, a lot of the recommendations that you made um, apply even if you just have people training with you and they're not paying you, because let's say you're training your friends. Uh, we actually have a video where I interviewed my insurance agent at the time, and he actually has a home gym as well. And so we were talking, and I was like, one of the things he brought up is like loss of consortium. So you could have your friends train with you, right? And you're like, oh, my friend wouldn't sue me if they fall and get hurt. They're not going to sue me. Well, yeah, but their wife might, or their husband might, because if they get hurt, so they can't go to work anymore, and that affects the household income or whatever, then the spouse can file a lawsuit against you for loss of consortium, even though you weren't making any money. Just like if you have a party and somebody comes over and they hurt themselves at your house, their spouse can sue you because they slipped on your steps, right? Leaving the house. And so that was something that he brought up, which is a reason to have an umbrella policy, even if you don't plan on making any money off of your gym. And then if you do want to make money off your gym, you definitely need to look into commercial insurance, because your personal home insurance is not designed to cover your business. It just isn't. The other thing is uh, I just thought of another item that you could have in the gym, and that's cleaner. So, like, if you have cleaning supplies in the gym, then that's gonna help people feel better, because if they and then you have a sign that says, "Hey, clean up after yourself" or whatever, right? They're gonna feel better about it because they're gonna assume that the last person that used the gym also cleaned up after themselves. And especially in a post COVID era, people are very, very sensitive about germs on everything. I talked last week about how dumbbells at gyms have more germs than dumbbells at a commercial gym have more germs than a toilet seat, simply because so many people they sneeze and then they grab the dumbbells, all the different things. So when someone comes to your home, they're expecting that they're going to have to deal with, you know, your kids got sick at school. Now they're gonna have to deal with it. So if they see those cleaning supplies, that I think goes a long way towards making them feel better about how you treat the rest of the place. You know, it's like if I can see that you're doing that, well, you probably thought of some other things too. So I'm gonna feel a little bit better about the situation.
Yeah, 100%. And I even have Purell in my gym
Yeah.
right next to the door as they enter and exit. I don't require them to use it, but it's little things like that that demonstrate professionalism and make you stand out.
Yep.
If you were going to my Google business page for Peak Micro Gym or Peak Functional Fitness, you'd see like one of the most common things I get is in my reviews is cleanliness. And people want to go to a gym where they feel comfortable grabbing and using equipment. So you're absolutely right.
Um. So we talked about insurance. It's something that a home gym owner who wants to start a micro gym or whatever would need. Another thing, man, that especially since it's tax time right now, and every year at tax time, I say I'm gonna do better. But you and I were talking about
Stay in
how
my existence.
there need oh, there needs to be a micro, like there needs to be an accountant, some sort of people who are familiar with not just accounting and tax law and all that kind of stuff, but just somebody who understands what it's like to have a home gym business
Mhm.
and also knows the financial side of it, because there's so many different ways that you make money when you have a home gym business. Okay, not necessarily a micro gym business like in a commercial space, but I'm like, for what I do, there's so many different ways that money comes in that I have to explain, well, this is what that is and this is how I made money from it. So is how do I tell the IRS what it, how do I categorize it when I'm telling the IRS I made money from this thing? You know what I mean? And so it would be helpful if that's the biggest thing I would say, especially like right now, I'm doing my taxes. So that's the number one thing that would help is
Same.
like having somebody I could send receipts to and say, okay, you're my bookkeeper and you can help me out with categorizing these things to make my life easier at tax time, even if I still file my taxes myself. You know what I mean? You said you're looking for something like that right now. Am I correct?
Yeah. So a little context. So my position is micro gyms are inevitable. Like uh, this community of people who run businesses from their home gym and offer this private space to their communities is inevitable, and it will grow. It might take some time, and it might take a couple of years, but it isn't as inevitable as Airbnb was. And so we're on the ground floor of something that I think is going to be uh, household. It's going to be a household name, pun intended. Like micro gym is going to be something that is common phrasing that people will understand. Just general pop will understand in the future. And so we think there's an opportunity here. It's not GoRX necessarily, but we think there's an opportunity for people to become the blank of micro gyms, right? And accounting is one of those, like I said just a moment ago, it's the bane of my existence. I freaking hate it. And there's people out there that love it though, that love numbers, love crunching numbers. I mean, our own bookkeeper, our own accountant love doing what they do. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to reach out to people or find people that are accountants and that are home gym owners and that would love to be that influencer or that thought leader in the space. And so we're just saying, hey, the tide is rising. There's a need in this community. Is there someone out there that wants to fill this need?
And I mean, I know that we're, like I said, we're on LinkedIn right now as well. And here's the thing that frustrates me sometimes is when someone is a professional in an area and they say, well, I don't want to connect my hobby with that because I don't want to turn my hobby into work. I'm not saying, and I'm gonna speak for Andrea. He's not saying we want you to hate lifting weights. All right. If you're an
Right.
accountant, we don't want you to hate lifting weights. What I'm saying is, if you are an independent accountant, you're looking for customers, clients. Okay, well, we're telling you that there is a built-in, there is already a group of people who are looking for you if you are someone who understands our situation. That makes
Yes.
sense.
Yes.
You know, so if you have a home gym, you don't have to have a home gym business as an accountant. I just mean if you're an accountant and you have a home gym, I feel like I can communicate with you
Yep.
because you're going to understand a little bit more when I tell you this or that thing than someone who maybe doesn't work out at all. And now I have to explain, okay, let's start out with, well, what is this thing, this piece of equipment or whatever? Okay. Okay. Just for example, um, I, I had to do a product review. Okay. I did a product review. It was on an exercise bike. This is last year. In order to do the review, I had to purchase some stuff from Harbor Freight. Okay. So I needed that. I couldn't do the review without purchasing the stuff from Harbor Freight, which means I needed it for my business. But if I say I have a fitness business and you see I went to Harbor Freight, you're going to be like, how does this even work with your home gym business? You know what I mean? But I feel like somebody who is in the home gym community who understands the different ways we figure out solutions would be more likely to be able to say, oh yeah, okay, you can categorize that as this thing. Does that make sense? So
Okay. Sorry.
no,
I
no,
thought
go
you were
ahead.
asking
No,
me a question. Go
no,
ahead. Yeah.
yeah. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And what I found is, in the beginning of GoRX, there were a lot of people that said, "Do you honestly see this being like working, letting people in the home gym?" And I felt then, and I've always felt that there are people out there that will see the value and will get excited to be part of it. And same thing with our Green to Go. I'm plugging Green to Go, but our Green to Go program at GoRX is, where we help transitioning service members build and, micro gym businesses or fitness businesses. Do you think people are going to buy into this? Absolutely. There are people out there that get excited about these sort of things. And there's only one person, one home gym, and we only need one home gym owner who's an accountant that is bought into this community, loves what it's about, and wants to be a part of it in a way that they can bring value to people like us.
Um, that's so. I just thought of another thing from what you said already in this interview. You said that you have Purell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a business expense. But if
Yep.
somebody doesn't understand, what you're doing, when you try to claim Purell on your taxes, they're gonna be like, "Why are you claiming Purell on your taxes?" Well, it's because I've got this thing. So, anyway, I want to talk about the concept
If I
of
could jump in to say to
no, go
for
ahead.
on one piece, so it's important. I haven't seen this yet, but so it's important if you're going to start expensing things for your home gym business that you're not just doing it without trying to win sales and revenue, right? You're required by the IRS to turn a profit I think it's 2 out of the first 5 years of your business. And if they audit you, which is very low probability, but if they audit you and they discover that you're expensing a whole lot of things, but you're not generating revenue, they're going to downgrade you to a hobby. And then you won't be able to take advantage of those tax benefits.
Um, so that's actually a really good point. Yes, you need to you need to generate income, or it's not a business; it is a hobby.
Right.
Even if it's a side hustle,
Yes.
you need to generate income.
Yes.
So let's see here. I want to talk about the idea of keep separating your business from your home. So we had a comment. I'm scrolling back over to look for it. So Keith said that the target audience is tough. He was referring to finding your target audience because he said you got to find the right people that don't bring drama to the house. He said he's a veteran, so peace is important. I completely yes. People who aren't veterans, especially combat veterans, um, we tend to be switched on a lot more than people like. I'm not saying we have triggers, but I mean there are things that we react
Dude,
differently to
I
stuff.
assess threat everywhere I go.
Heck yeah.
it is,
I don't
it
go in the
is
restaurant. Everybody's like,
hard.
ah, you
Yeah.
should calm down. Like, this is a side note, but the less other people are concerned about potential threats, the more concerned I am. Because I'm like, well, nobody else is worrying about it. What if something happens? You know, there's nobody, I don't see anybody else who's taking measures to make me feel safer. So I feel like I need to, you know, do it. But I can understand in that situation, you're bringing people into your home. And even if it's separated from the house, there's still a stranger coming to your house. I don't care if they're coming to the shed, the barn, whatever. And Anna Woods, who is the founder of She Strength, just moved her business from her home. It was in a barn detached from the house. And she still said that her business had grown to the point where she had so many people over all the time that it was tough to just be at home, because she ended up, her business grew. She had another trainer working there. She had clients coming all of the time. And she's like, it's tough to just, it was tough to just live. So how do you help people understand, look, you need to set some hours and schedule, because otherwise you don't want to turn down money, but you're going to have strangers at your house all of the time if you don't set up some, I don't want to call it boundaries, but a schedule.
Yeah, there's a lot to unpack in all of that. So first, I would say she needs to be a guest. Bring her on. Start picking her brain, because if if she's been that successful as a micro gym owner, she's going to have a wealth of information to share. And what an awesome problem to have. I
I plan to connect the two of you guys, because
yes,
I think she'd be
yeah.
great
At the
for you.
very
I've
like
interviewed
I'll
her
pick
before,
her
but I'm going to have you
brain.
on. I'm going to have
Yeah,
her
for
on with you.
sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, listen, if you're so busy that you need to move into commercial space, like bravo, bravo. That's the goal, right? A lot of people that explore this idea want to work themselves or want to create a job for themselves. Maybe they're not happy in what they're doing. And so this is a way to sort of channel a passion and generate income at the same time. And if the goal is to actually run it as your full-time business, that is a really great problem to have, because you're entering microgym the microgym startup costs relative, if you've already got your home gym, is super low. Like it's not a ton of overhead. My overhead in total, including my insurance, is like $180 a month, and I turn a profit, no problem. I can turn a profit on 2 clients. So if she's, so one, if you find yourself feeling like that's not my home anymore, that's a good problem to have, because now it's time for you to think about moving to commercial space and graduating into a more traditional gym model, which present its own challenges, but now you've learned a lot and you're ready to make that step. As far as like business hours, there's always going to be an experimentation phase here, and I would also say people really get excited about this. They get really pumped up, and myself included, when I first opened mine. And I like 5 a.m. My gym was open at 5 a.m. and it closed at 10. And I found out that, over the course of some time, it was a couple months, that it wasn't going to work for me long term. I liked not having to compete for my own gym. It didn't make sense to me. So I changed my hours, and my hours start at 10 a.m. That way I can give myself and my wife plenty of time to get in our workout without having to cram in between guests. And I also cap it like 8 o'clock p.m. So I would say find, like, what are you willing to give up, right, for this business? And then what does market fit mean for you? And what I mean by that is your gym is a product, and what you're offering is a product. Think of it like a product. And market fit, which is a moving target as far as how you define it, is essentially where the product is meeting the need of the market. Like there's a balance in the product, like a balance of supply demand. But because this is your own home, there's an aspect to this that you have to weigh what you're comfortable with and giving up. And so, like, my product market fit, as I define it for myself, is 5 clients. I'm happy at 5 clients. That's all that I care. It hits a revenue goal that I set for myself, and that's it. Maybe you're a person that wants to push yourself out of your full-time job and grow this into your main, from a side hustle to main hustle. And so you define your market fit differently, right? So yeah, a lot to unpack there. Happy to dive in a little bit further, but I'll stop there.
So the first thing is you said clients. So um, you have opened up your home gym for people to kind of like rent the space,
Mm-hmm.
as well as you have personal training clients. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure that people understood is like you have your 5 clients. So these are 5 people that you're training, but then you also have people who can come in. Let's say they want to try out a body solid product and they're in the area
Yep.
and you happen to have it. Okay, I got you. Because you guys, you've got multiple different ways. I guess this is the kind of thing I'm trying to point out is like you guys, and one thing I love about what you guys do is you're showing that there are multiple different ways to make money from your home gym so that your home gym is
Right.
no longer just the thing that you put money into, but it's the thing that can repay you, if
Yes.
that makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got another question for from
If
Tim.
I could jump in while you're collecting your thoughts on that question or that follow-up question, I will say you don't have to rent out your gym. There are other platforms out there that exist right now that's what it is. You rent out your gym to allow people to come in. To go, right from the outset, I put myself in the as because I'm a user, I'm a consumer here. I'm a micro gym owner. I don't necessarily. I want to be able to control the people that control the flow in and out of my gym. And so if you're someone that's not about that model, and so you're sort of concerned about jumping on our platform, you don't have to rent your gym. You can exclusively do personal training. And so, in part of your sales funnel, and this is stuff we would help you walk through or talk through, is vetting. How are you vetting your clients? And so it first starts with defining what your ideal client is. So this is a person you're comfortable working with, broadly speaking, stereotypically. And then you can interview these people. The nice thing about being a business owner is you can say, hey, listen, I don't think I'm a great fit for you. It's not going to work at my gym. I recommend you trying and talking to these other gyms. So there's ways to control the people that come and use your gym. I happen to also allow people to rent my gym, but I give myself a 24-hour buffer. I I can set whether I confirm a time then that they can come or not. So like in the platform is a solution. We allow the gym owners to determine whether an event on their calendar requires you to confirm that they come. So if you miss that confirmation, that person won't, get a notification that they've been allowed that time slot. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, and that actually goes to one of the things I was gonna ask you later about automation. Like you have I know you guys have some software that's available to help make the process of doing this kind of stuff a little bit easier, so you can connect people to software like the scheduling calendar. But the question that Tim has actually goes along with what you were saying about renting the gym out, and he wants to know how viable is it to market to trainers versus individuals who just want to use your gym. So I assume, and Tim, if I'm not stating what you're trying to ask correctly, then go ahead and correct me in the chat. But I assume that he's saying how viable is it to market to a personal trainer who may have a client that's near you and he wants to use your space to train that client. So you don't have to be, basically you provide the space and then they go in and they're able to work out, they train their client in your space and then they leave. So there's a bunch of stuff that goes with that. First of all, to me, it seems like that trainer needs to have insurance because then maybe their insurance will cover if they do something to get the client hurt, because that's something you'd have to worry about. What if this guy programs something, the client gets hurt and they want to sue you, for whatever, the fact that they did, I don't know, max rep good mornings or something, and you had nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I would say first to answer the first part of the question, yeah, it's absolutely viable. And I think there's a win-win situation for trainers and home gym owners or micro gym owners here. And you can, one of the selling points as a personal trainer at a Globo gym for moving your clientele or moving your business to a micro gym is I'm not taking a 50 to 60% pay cut from every session for my work. So that's a huge selling point because as a micro gym owner, you can offer them like, hey, you just pay me a monthly like trainer subscription and you can train X many clients per month. So it's and it allows the trainer to charge less because they're still pocketing more. But I will say there's a right and wrong way to do this, and the wrong way is to a handshake agreement and just to let them bring in their people, basically, as you noted. The right way is to ensure that you're vetting this person, and that's just doing like one of our teammates likes to say things like sniff test. Do they pass the sniff test? Do they pass your vibe check? Also, are they insured, and requiring that they are insured? And if they are insured, requiring them to name you and your place of business, your principal place of business, as additionally insured on their policy. The benefit is that it doesn't really cost extra to add an additional insured party on that policy, but you want to require that. So if they do get in sticky water and they're being sued by you, and them are being sued by a client that was hurt under their watch, their policy picks up the legal bills for your for that that claim,
Okay.
or the legal bill. Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. We got follow-up comment. Yeah, okay. So Tim said that is exactly what he was talking about. I mean, I can see the that's attractive to me because I have zero interest in coaching people.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I have worked with trainers in the past.
Yeah, that was I did that when I first got out of college, and I mean, I train people occasionally now, but there's got to be something. It's not for money, and there's got to be some compelling thing that causes me to work with them, like my friend Anthony. For the most part, though, I'm so tied up with Garage Gym Life that I don't have time to do that. And so for me, though, if I let somebody else come in here and I can trust them, then yeah, it'd be like, all right, sure, you know, I'm willing to let you use my place as part of your business if it works out. You know what I mean? So this is something that I think I should have asked you the first time I ever interviewed you. So I'm going to ask you now. We'll fix it by asking you now. Now that you've had you've had a little bit of time, the business has been going, you've done the things at Home Gym Con where you introduce people to the business. You guys are going to do something Home Gym Con again, and I believe Ashley's going to be involved with that. So despite that, I'll bet you that there's stuff that you still wish people knew. You're like, I'm trying to get the word out, but people for some reason still don't know this about my business. So I'm going to give you the platform now. What is the number one thing that you wish people understood about what GORX Fitness does, but they don't even know to ask?
I don't know. We're pretty transparent, I would say. I'll take it this way. One of the things I'm most proud about and excited about GORX is this rich Skillbridge program we've built internally. And by Skillbridge, I mean we have it's like 7 or 8 active duty service members who are exiting military service that are interning here at GORX. And so we're building a business through service member talent, and they're passionate about what GORX is doing. And I would say that's something that people don't know and have not shared broadly, but is been an absolutely game changer for GORX and in who we are and what we're building and how we're building it. I would say we are DoD Skillbridge partners, approved partners, and I think by the end of this year we'll have 13 to 15 active duty service members helping us build our affiliate success team, helping us run our Scrum team, helping us start special projects, including this project what we're exploring right now to help service, critically injured service members and first responders through building home gyms. And so there's a lot that's going on behind the scenes that people don't know about and are not aware of because it's not like it's not part of the marketing effort.
Okay, so we're gonna unpack that.
Please.
I thought we were done, but now we're not because you just said that. So you guys are partnering with Skillbridge
Mhm.
to build home gyms for critically injured service members and first responders.
Yeah, I mean, so it's a project that we are exploring right now, and we are working with service. We're going to hire interns to help us build this program, and the idea is to equip critically injured service members or first responders with home gyms as part of their rehabilitative protocols. We think there's an opportunity for this niche community of people that have given so much that the home gym can help solve and can help them on their recovery journey. This is like we are in ground floor research phase and trying to put a team together on that one. Yeah.
All right. So the reason I asked that is because that goes with my next point, which is if someone is, let's say they're within the last year before they get out, all right, and they're getting close to EOS, and they want to get involved, they want to get connected, like, hey, I wouldn't mind becoming a personal trainer or something like that, and I'd love it if I could do it from my house so that my overhead is low. How would they get connected with the GORX in order to start exploring that?
Yeah, awesome. That's our Green to Go program, and it's specifically for those individuals that are within a 180-day window of exiting active duty service and want to start a fitness business. So we've broken it up into blocks that it's pretty flexible, so it can be done part time, full time, depending on what command approves, and it's business foundations, marketing strategies, branding, insurance, compliance, all that stuff. We break it all into blocks, and they will build a business plan. And that business plan essentially is there's a capstone project, which they'll pitch to a sort of Shark Tank scenario with guys like you, John, who will sit down and help provide pointers and feedback on some of their on what they pitch as far as their business plan. To reach out and find out, like obviously LinkedIn, but Skillbridge at gorxfitness.com, and send a quick note about yourself, some basic data, name, rank, service, what your time frame looks like, your Skillbridge window, how much time are you going to be permitted to actually do your Skillbridge. And we're pretty responsive. We're really proud about this. We love what we're doing. We love the opportunities that we're offering. We do have Green to Go Skillbridge interns now. We just onboarded our very first. And so she's going through her name is Marissa. She's going through the process right now of that first block, understanding business formation and what kind of forms go into filing an LLC, for example, the compliance, the local regulations, and all that research. And so at the end of each block, this is more than you asked, but since I'm on it, I'm saying,
No, please.
at the end of each block, there's going to be a review where she sits down with me and some of the affiliate success team, and we go through her business plan. And the thing that we think is going to be that we're betting on is one, it's not just an opportunity for a service member to have an entrepreneurial, program that they'll never get this opportunity in their life. They'll never get it again, to be able to use their military service time to learn foundational business, aspects of running a business. But it's also a petri dish and a sandbox for GoRX for us to work with people on a full-time basis who are going through this microgym process, the starting and running a microgym process. And so there's going to be so many lessons that we learn as a team that we can work directly with these Skillbridge interns, so we can provide more value to our civilian microgym leads in our pipeline, our affiliate pipeline. So we're super excited by this program. We have a lot of interest in it already, and we've done very little marketing for it at all. It's just word of mouth so far. So if you're a service member, you're listening, you're within that window, or you have friends or family that are thinking about getting out of the military, that love fitness, that want to start fitness business, there's no other opportunity in the Skillbridge program right now that I'm aware of that provides the same internship experience.
What if someone is they've already gotten out, they're a veteran, let's say they've been out for 2-3 years? How can GORX help them in this similar you know,
Yeah, for sure. I
with
mean,
this? Because they're obviously they're not green to go anymore. They're already out. But what can GORX do for them?
yeah, and I would say, thank you for your service first off, and second, we're gonna help you the same way we'd help any of the people that we work with, like Keith or Eric that are in the chat right now. We'll walk you through the process as much as you need. We're a sounding board when you need support or have questions or you're not sure where to probe next or who to speak to. We'll help you find those individuals that or those answers that you're seeking.
What I mean is so most of us who are in the military, you have some semblance of a GI Bill, okay? And sometimes, so if you do an apprenticeship, for those who don't know, if you do an apprenticeship through I don't know, the IBEW, and you want to be an electrician, for example, you can use your GI Bill towards paying for that. So you'll get a check from the military every month as part of your GI Bill. Like you'll get an actual check. It doesn't go to the organization. You get a check because you're in the apprenticeship, right? And for you, that counts as school, right? So what I'm saying is because of what you guys are doing with Skillbridge, and this may be a little bit too far down the road, but is this something that would qualify for that? You're like, hey, I want to, all right, right now I work at 7-Eleven and I'd rather do a home gym business. Hey, I'm going to partner with GoRX. Would this be something that the GI Bill could go towards?
Not right now, but so our goal is to get to a point where we can offer a course,
Okay.
an accredited course, and there's a lot of time between then and now. So to answer your question, frankly, we do not have a program like that,
But you can
but
connect with your resources.
we'll connect you with resources, including plug in Catch a Lift here, Catch a Lift Fund. They will grant up to $1,500. I believe it's $1,500, $1,200 or $1,500 a year to service members. I think there are some stipulations, like you'll definitely need your DD 214. I think you have to be. I think there's a threshold for VA disability rating, and whether you've been injured in combat or a combat theater or not. So there are programs out there that can help fund your home gym aspirations. We've talked to a few people that are actually in our pipeline, our affiliate pipeline, that have been received funding from Catch a Lift. But there are other resources that we'll point you to. The goal is to get to a point where we can offer an online course with live instruction, and if not live instruction, it's a live teacher on recorded classes.
Awesome. Well, man, I've kept you away from working, just chatterboxing with me all morning, and I know you gotta, as everybody could hear, you've got a lot of important stuff that you need to do. So I'm gonna let you go, but before you go ahead, let people know. I've already got the banner going across, letting them know to go ahead and follow you on Instagram and to check out gorxfitness.com. But go ahead and let everybody know what are the best ways to get in touch with you if they want more information.
Yeah, for sure. So Instagram, obviously, LinkedIn through our business page or my personal page. I'm most active. Like you'll see, I'm not active on social media at all on my personal pages, but I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. Our website for sure. You can always email us as well, info@GoRX Fitness. I'm Andrew at GoRXFitness.com. We'll get you plugged into our team members here. And if you got specific questions, we're pretty, right now we've got the availability to jump in calls. Like people you're going to be talking to are guys like me and Trevor, my co-founder, in addition to other team members. So there are a lot of different ways you can reach out. Just reach out. Like there's no skin. It's all free. We're not asking for any money. If you're just exploring it and you want to learn more about it, please reach out. Happy to talk about it.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, like I said, I appreciate you coming on here. We're definitely going to have you back. And if anyone has any questions, I actually have a couple of people to refer to you. Like I told you, one of my sons, at some point, I have a vested interest in this because at some point he's going to get out of the Marine Corps and he's going to need, this is what he wants to do. So
We'll be
I
there.
need GoRX to be up and running and ready to go. So when that Staff Sergeant Greaves gets out, and he'll be higher ranked by that time, but when he gets out, I need GoRX to be present to help him. So
Heck yeah,
I
not
definitely
afraid.
I love what
Send
you
'em.
do, and I'm 100% anything I can do to help you. If I can do it, ask, I'll do it. All right.
Roger that.
Yeah, man. All right, man. You take your dang beautiful blowing hair off of my
Thanks.
dang show, and and I'll talk to you later, man.
All right, brother. Take care.
All right. All right, so that was Andrew from GORX Fitness, and if you guys didn't catch that entire interview, you definitely want to go ahead and use the rewind function and check it all out because there is a lot there. They do a lot of stuff to help not just veterans, but anyone who, especially if you already have a home gym, there are ways so that your home gym, as I said earlier, can pay you instead of it just being something that you put money into. It can also be potentially a way for you to make some extra money without necessarily changing your entire lifestyle too much. So feel free to check out gorxfitness.com, rewind, and check out the information that Andrew was sharing during that interview.